recruiting is all about perception. It's all about perception. So you want to have.
All right, Sam. Hey, thank you so much for being on the Elite Agent Talk here. It's such an honor to have you on the show. I have so many questions I want to ask you in a selfish way because we talked a little bit at PC at Greenbrier.
Yeah.
And you shared some strategies you have with recruiting, which I thought were really great ideas.
Yeah.
But before we get started there, can you introduce us to your situation and the position or your position with the company and a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm doing farmers. It's interesting because I looked at one of the videos that you had with another agent, and you've been an agency owner for 15 years. And funny enough, we both started at the same time.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I signed my reserve contract in 2007, in August of 2007. So I'm actually 15 years this month with farmers. So I guess I'm the only Ghanaian born district manager in all of farmers. So that's pretty cool, right?
That's really cool. Yeah, it's the exact same month too, August.
Yeah. Yep. August of 2007 is when I started. So
where'd you say you were born?
In Ghana. So I'm from Ghana.
Oh, okay. That's what you said. Okay.
Yeah. So came here for college and I'm stuck. I'm still here.
Yeah. No.
That's awesome. So it's interesting. I mean, how I came to farmers, right after college, I went to school in Illinois. I went to Illinois, Wesleyan University in Bloomington, Illinois. And that's the home of State Farm. So it's kind of shocking to a lot of my peers that I work for farmers because, I went to college in Bloomington and everybody thinks, well, you're going to end up with State Farm. Mm-hmm. Well, I didn't know I was going to be in the insurance business in the first place. Mm-hmm. Okay. So after college, I worked in Chicago, kind of bounced around, different places. And I actually secured my insurance licenses through Primerica. So that was a part-time thing. So they offered to pay for my licensing, got my Series 663, my life and health. And, I worked for Siemens at the time. And then nights and weekends, I would just sell life insurance to my friends and family. So that's how I kind of got my foot in the door. So I've been licensed since 2003. So I've been in business a very long time. And, didn't like the part-time gig with Primerica. And from there, I moved to, consulting. So I was a consultant for Mercer HR Consulting in Chicago. And, I'm going to describe how I ended up with farmers. So it's, bear with me. I'm going to go through my life story a bit.
Yeah.
But, when I worked for Mercer, I was there for about 8 months. I went on vacation. And then when I got back, my boss came to my desk and said, hey, Sam, we need to pack all your stuff and meet in a conference room with HR. I was like, what's going on? I just got back, right? And I go into the meeting and they're like, well, today is going to be your last day because, we're laying off all the new people. So anyone under 1 year was laid off because the company was sued and there was a $1 million lawsuit. So that was how they were going to pay for the bill, to get rid of all the new people. So when that happened, I'm like, you know what? I need to be, in a situation where I control my own destiny, right? So during my time, looking for work, I got my PNC license. So I was fully licensed at that point. And then I had a brief stint with MetLife. So I worked there for about 6 months in Chicago. And then I decided, okay, cold calling every night, a lot of people in Chicago was pretty tough. Mm-hmm. As a new agency owner. So I decided, okay, I'm pretty good at sales. What do I go into banking, right? So I wanted to go into banking because if I knew how to sell and I knew my products, the banks have clients. So it was an easy fit. It was easy, right? Mm-hmm. So I got recruited to PNC Bank in St. Louis. So I moved from Chicago to St. Louis. I did very well in the bank. I was one of the top financial services reps in the bank. And nice. I was there for about 7 years. And I realized, in my 7 years, that I could never own the bank, right? So I'm like, okay, what am I doing? So in 2008, actually, 2008 when the market crashed, I got my MBA. And I went to my boss and said, hey, Don, I'm doing pretty well at the bank. And, I just had my firstborn. Actually, my middle son was born. And I'm like, I want to make more money. And John looked at me and said, hey, Sam, did you look at the stock market before you walked in my office? And I said, I did, but I don't care, right? I'm trying to do better for my family, right? And they said, no, we can't pay you more, but we can move you to the commercial department, commercial lending, and see if you like it there, right? So and I knew the lenders drove nice cars. They make good money, so I decided to go there.
Okay.
Well, 4 months into the gig with the commercial department, they started laying people off. In 6 months, the whole department was gone.
Oh, wow.
So that was my second time of being laid off. And at that point, I told myself, I have to work for myself.
Wow.
So my parents, they own a school. They have a small business in Ghana. They own a Montessori school.
Oh, they do.
Now it's all the way through middle school. So, my mom is an entrepreneur. She owns several businesses. So I had that in me, right, to kind of do my own thing. So I got a call from a recruiter from Farmers, went for the interview, and decided, okay, I'm going to, take a shot at this. In 2007, like I told you, I signed my reserve contract, and the rest is history. So, first year as an agent, I was a top new agent in my district, so I made toppers. And I got a taste of A clubs. I'm like, ooh, this is pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
And then, when I was an agency owner, 21st Century, Farmers acquired 21st Century. And 21st Century Insurance, if you remember, we're getting Phillies, right? Were you around when 21st Century came out?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we're getting, the leads. And in the state of Missouri at the time, I was getting, so initially everybody was getting like 3 or 4 leads a day, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what I did different was whenever I sold a client to one of those clients, I was not only selling auto and home, but I was cross-selling life insurance to those clients. So they bumped my allocation from 3 to 21.
Oh, wow.
To 21 a day. Okay.
So those are all the auto leads that you could sell the homes to, right?
Correct.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was doing extremely well. Farmers flew somebody all the way from LA to my office in St. Louis to come find out what I was doing. I was like, so my DM, again, I didn't know I was going to become a district manager, but so my DM came to me and said, hey, why don't you come teach the district, my new agents, what you're doing, right? So that's how I got into becoming a DM. So I would go in during the career class, and then I would teach you guys what I was doing, right? I was cross-selling life whenever I was selling auto and home. And then it became a thing where I actually enjoyed mentoring other people. And then my DM asked me to become a recruiter. At the time, they had a program called the RFM program. So because I had management experience in the bank, I wanted to look into becoming a district manager. So he offered the role to become an RFM. And went there, did extremely well as an RFM. That year, we recruited 10 agents. There were 2 RFMs, myself and another guy. My DM made PC that year. Okay, so we blew it out. The year I was an RFM, and then a year later, I became a DM in Rochester, Minnesota. So I was there for 9 years, and now I'm a district manager in Minneapolis. So my office is here in Plymouth. I manage about 38 agents right now in Plymouth. And in my time as a DM, made President's Council twice. So pretty cool.
Yeah.
I made championship 2 times. I made Topper Club 7 times. So, one of the things that I'm really proud of is I took over one of the worst districts in Minnesota when I moved here in Rochester. And in 3 years, I turned that district around. So through recruiting, training and mentorship, and just changing mindsets, changing people's minds about business and getting people excited through promotions. The first year I was eligible as a DM to make President's Council, I made President. So that was a trip to Hawaii, and that was pretty cool.
Wow, that turned it around really fast.
Yeah. So again, in my new district, this was a PC district, so it wasn't one of the worst districts, but it still had some leadership things that we had to do. First year, I made toppers. My first year here, didn't make PC, but this year we're having a good run, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Wait. So you changed districts now?
I did. I switched districts. I've been at the new one for 3 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I moved from Rochester to Plymouth, which is in the metro. So I was a rural DM before. Rochester is about 100 to 120,000 people that live there. Wanted to be in the metropolis, so I decided to find a different.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is not your first time around turning
Yeah.
around the
Let's
district.
go
So,
around. Yeah.
but that's awesome how you all those little experiences, being a Primerica agent and getting licensed that early, and your experience with the bank and then the sales and things like that. A lot of those experiences kind of came together and
It
is
does,
helping you out right now.
yeah. I mean, life is all about experiences, and it's really taking those pieces and putting them together at the
Hmm.
right opportunity, right? So, people say, well, you're lucky, right? But what I tell people is, luck only happens when an opportunity meets preparation. So when you're prepared, right, and then the right opportunity comes along, then that's how you produce luck, right? So in my mind, you make your own luck. I recruit agents all the time. And this is something I always tell. I tell everyone I recruit, the farmer's opportunity is the same, regardless. It doesn't matter who you are or what you look like. It's the same opportunity. The outcome is what you do with it.
Hmm.
At the end of the day, it's
Yep.
really what you do with the opportunity is what will determine the outcome. We have agents who fail. We have agents that are wildly successful. It's the same opportunity. So the common denominator is, who is the person that is on the train, right? Who's riding the bike? Are you going to pedal? Are you going to ride it faster? Are you going to go slow? Or are you going to stay still?
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're gonna crash because you're right. The opportunity is exactly the same.
Yeah.
It's for everybody. It's
Same
just
opportunity.
only the person determines the outcome.
Exactly.
So that's a great way to look at it. It's pretty crazy how the opportunity is so exactly the same, but the outcome could be so different.
So different. So different. I was talking to Shane, and I think Shane actually started at the same time you did. He's been around for 13 years. So he's one of my top agents who made presents.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
He made PC. And I was sharing with him the new programs that we have. It's totally different from when you and I started, right? So when you and I started, they had a traditional program. The traditional program, I don't even know how somebody convinced me to sign that contract. I did. And you did too, right?
Yeah.
So the traditional program.
Yeah, the nods are so much better, huh?
Yeah, they paid us $2,000 a month, and it was a loan. It was a subsidy program, right? And you had 3 years to hit certain metrics, and they would waive all the subsidy.
Run to daylight.
And run to daylight.
Yeah.
So I ran to daylight. That was my goal. I didn't want to pay farmers a dime.
Same here. Yeah, I remember.
Okay. So I worked my tail off, and made sure that I ran to daylight. And so that was that program. And the new program, then, if you did it, or Shane, one of my top guys, did it, they would easily make $1 million in the first year. Because the new program, I don't know if you know anything about it, but the new retail program is 300% bonuses on everything you sell.
Holy
so literally, every dollar you make in commissions, you paid 4 times. You sell $1, you make $4.
I think I might disappear and come back with a new identity. Move to Minnesota.
So, again, you get reincarnated or you go back. Come to Minnesota. I'd love to have you in my district. But I mean, honestly, you make $10,000 in commissions. The money you make at the end of the month on your folder is 40 grand.
Yeah. Because 300 plus the actual commission. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
You make 40,000 in that's your money for the month. That's the retail program.
Is that something that we're still trying to do, like still recruiting new agents up there? Because I know different areas different, but.
So every market is different, right? So in Minnesota, we're growing. So we're actually hiring those folks. And I know I have friends in California. So I know they put a pause on actually bringing on new agents. There are different reasons for it. But in Minnesota, I'd love to talk to you. So something that is unique about farmers, and we're not one of those insurance companies where we hire 200 people and hopefully one of them sticks, right?
Right.
My goal that farmers gave me is to hire 6 to 7 people a year. That's it.
Good people, though. So you could be, yeah.
Yeah. So by hiring a small number of people, you get more support, right? You get better training, and they're more successful.
More attention. Yep.
More attention, right? So our success went from 40% first year to over 90%.
Oh, nice. And you
You
can
know
be a
what I
little bit more
mean?
pickier too on who you
A
select.
lot more, exactly,
Hmm.
a lot more pickier, and we retain more of the agents we're bringing on.
Hmm.
And they're happier, they're making more money,
Yeah.
right? And because they make more money, they can actually hire better quality staff.
Right.
Right? So they can get, so the programs that Farmers has today, you have to have 2 licensed appointed staff when you open your store. So
Good
back then,
idea.
when you started,
Yeah,
it
there
was
was.
just you. It wasn't a requirement to have staff or anything like that, right?
Hmm.
And every successful agent that you talk to today will say, "Man, I wish I'd hired staff day one."
Yep. Yep.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
Farmers has learned from that, and all the programs we have, they actually have a requirement. So the requirement is 2, but then obviously you can bring more on. And
Hmm.
then with the Protege program that Farmers put out, it actually pays for your staff. For
Hmm.
every, we don't put Farmers doesn't put a cap on how many proteges you can hire, right? So you can hire as many as you want. And I was just in Europe for 2 weeks. I just got back, and I learned that Farmers, for all new agents in the first 6 months, they are automatically eligible to hire proteges.
Even as a new agent.
As a new agent, in your first 6 months, you automatically approved
Wow.
to bring on a protege. Before my trip, they had to earn it. They had to qualify,
Hmm.
right? So they had to hit we have some requirements for you to get bonuses. But they had to hit those tiers to qualify as a protege, as a mentor agent. But now, any new agent, retail, acquisition, first 6 months, boom, you're on. You can
Wow.
hire a protege.
No, yeah, that's great. I do think that staff is the secret to agency growth. So the company really
Yeah.
not, not enforcing it, but really recommending it. Well, yeah, kind of because it's a requirement, and then make opening up crochet options. I think that's a great idea because they have the best interest for us and they know what we should do because they have the
Well,
experience.
what I also tell you too is, I don't know if you read the E-Myth,
Hmm.
the
Yeah.
book, the E-Myth, but the E-Myth talks about stages of an agency, right? You have
Hmm.
an infant, and then you have infant, adult. No, I think the last stage, I forget the middle one. So you have when you're in infancy, or you're in the middle of the road, and then when you become an adult, right?
Hmm.
When you're an adult, that's when you have help in your office, meaning you have staff, and then you have systems in place,
Hmm.
right? So Farmers is very smart. What they've done is they're forcing all our new agents to jump from being an infant immediately to become an adult
Hmm.
by putting those requirements in place. So if you have your 2 licensed and appointed staff, you have the staff requirement met, and then it's the job of the district office to teach you the systems.
Right.
So I'm a systems guy. So I teach a lot of systems to my agents. So in my recruiting, I have in my district, I actually have a Dropbox. I have a Dropbox where I keep all kinds of information. So I have forms, I have marketing tactics, different systems that I make available to my agency owners.
Hmm.
So you go there if they need a script to make a phone call. They want to do cold calling. I have all kinds of scripts, and the library that I have, the Dropbox, I stole from you guys.
Yeah, from the agents.
All the top agents in the country, right?
Yeah.
So again, thanks to the Farmers family, people love to share, right?
Yep.
So I have a library of different things to help my agency owners so that they can be successful. So I do everything to help people. That's kind of what I do.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then how you mentioned that your parents are your mom and were entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And I noticed that a lot when I have these talks. A lot of the successful agents are like that. From when you hired like agents as a DM, do you notice that the ones that do well have like entrepreneurship in their family, or is it
Yeah.
something just happens to be that way? You think, or is that a big factor, or do you actually look for that when you recruit, or?
Yeah, actually, I do look for it because the people that have family that own businesses, like especially parents,
Hmm.
they have this backbone where they don't quit. I don't know what it is, but they don't have quit in them.
Yeah.
So even if they have a hard time, they always lean back on that and say, you know what, my parents was, because when your parents own a business, they go through hard times too.
Yeah, yeah,
right?
we do. Yeah, we
Yeah,
definitely
I mean,
they did, and we do too. Especially,
exactly.
yeah.
So you have somebody to go talk to and say, hey, I'm struggling this month, and then they'll pump you up. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But even if they're deceased, for whatever reason, that person is more resilient.
Hmm.
Okay, they're more resilient. And there's just a little bit of a swagger about them.
Hmm.
There's something about them that they're just different.
Yeah, that's so true. But yeah, what was it like growing up in Ghana?
Well, I was in Ghana for 21 years.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, I did high school in Ghana, but man, that really shaped me as a person. I went to an all boys high school. I went to St. Augustine's University. We call it APSU. And it really shaped me because, going to an all boys school, you learn discipline. When you wake up, you brush your teeth, you make your bed. We wore uniforms. So a lot of my discipline and my motivation I picked up from high school.
Hmm.
When it's my life is quite interesting because when I was in high school, I was actually a science student.
Okay.
So in Ghana, education is by silos. So like career wise, it's either you're a doctor, you're an engineer, or an attorney,
Oh, okay.
or you're an artist.
Yeah.
So it's all siloed out. So okay, when you exit college, okay, you're gonna be one of these people, right?
Uh-huh.
Well, my parents wanted me to be a doctor. And, I went along with it. I did biology. I was actually a pretty good science student in high school. But then when I came to the US, I felt like I was free because I went to a liberal arts school.
Uh-huh. Okay.
In the West End, I went to a liberal arts school. I got a full ride to come here. I scored pretty well on the ACT, so
Wow.
I got a full ride to come here. And, when I came in, I was pre-med. So, I was taking all the science courses and so forth. And one of the conditions of my scholarship was I had to maintain a 3.0.
Hmm.
Okay. Now, as a foreign student, you can't really work, right?
Hmm.
You're not allowed, you can have a couple of jobs. And then, the rest I had to pay for room and board. So I got a full ride for tuition and stuff, but I still had to pay for room and board. So coming here, the first 6 months was pretty tough because we spoke English in Ghana, right?
Hmm.
So I speak 5 languages. In Ghana, there's over 40 languages there.
Oh, wow.
So I speak 3 African languages. I speak a little bit of German, and obviously I speak English. So we learn English through high school. But when I came here, in America, they speak English, but they speak American. There's a difference between English and American. I don't know if you know that.
Right. Yeah.
So American is English, but there's slang also involved in it.
Right.
Okay. And then when I got here as well, everybody speaks so fast,
Uh-huh.
right? So I go to a lecture and man, they're teaching it and it's way above my head. I mean, I could comprehend what they're saying, but they were speaking so fast. So I had to buy a recorder, record the lecture, and go listen to it. And then the other thing that really, really made it tough for me in my first 6 months in the US was the weather.
Yeah, because you're in
Right?
Chicago, you're in Illinois.
Illinois, right? So, I moved from a tropical country. I lived on the beach in Ghana, right? In Accra. And then here, I came in the fall. So I came in August,
Uh-huh.
right? So think about my first 6 months. I had to go through my first winter and then you deal with the spring. Okay. So whenever it got cold, when I was steady, I'd fall asleep.
Hmm. Yeah, wow.
It
Talk
was like
about
it was like hibernation. Like literally, once it got cold, I'm like, I'm sleepy. Like, what is happening?
your body has to conserve energy to fight the cold.
Right?
Wow.
So it was just difficult. I mean, the language barrier,
Culture.
basically just catching up, the culture, the weather.
Hmm.
It was a little bit harder, just sitting with the kids in biology class, chemistry class, all the stuff that I had to do. So, I decided to, again, this is why I said I got my freedom when I got here because, in college, as a liberal arts college, you can try different classes, right? So I would take computer science, I took some business classes, I took economics, and, I actually switched from pre-med or science to computer science.
Mm.
because I figured back then all the computer people were making a ton of money. So I'm like,
Mhm.
hey, why not? Let me try computer science. I learned very quickly that programming wasn't my thing. Because honestly, in Ghana, I had only used computers for graphic design. That's all I use the computers for. I also like to do Excel and Word, like, write essays and stuff like that. But programming, I'd never done before. So it was a bit of a challenge.
Right.
So I had a stint with computer science, but I did graduate with a minor in computer science. So that was kind of cool. So I know computers, which today is helping me in my district. So I know how to work computers. If it breaks, I can do some stuff, right? So I switched. So when I did computer science, I took some business classes. I took economics, business. And with economics, I passed without even studying.
Oh, there you go.
It was easy. It was like, it made sense to me
Hmm.
because my dad he was an auditor. So,
Oh, okay.
I think that's where I got it from. So I'm like, man, this
Hmm.
stuff is easy.
The
So I just,
numbers.
yeah, numbers
Hmm.
and just logic.
Hmm.
I like, analysis, that kind of stuff. So, I switched majors to business. So I graduated summa cum laude with honors in business and in economics with a minor in computer science. And
Wow.
yeah, it was crazy. I mean, in college, I was very social. I had so many jobs on campus, so everybody knew me. So that's where my sales thing come from.
Uh-huh.
I love to talk to people, and yeah. So
What a well-rounded experience you had, huh?
yeah,
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Yeah, sales is really the most important thing, I guess, that you could learn in school. But a lot of great things you learn too. But finding yourself and just like back to resiliency. There's
yeah,
probably some time where you may have felt like this isn't for me. Maybe I'll go back, but
yeah.
not giving up. That's maybe where you get some of that too when you started your business. But
Well, I mean, you can imagine moving to a different country.
yeah.
You don't really know anyone here, right? And you just have to figure it out. You know,
Hmm.
but people that immigrate here, we're different. Our drivers are very different from a lot of people.
Yeah. We
So
just don't get anything handed to us.
no,
We
you,
have to.
you earn everything.
You have
You
to.
know, but I had a lot of friends in college because I was 21, so I could buy them drinks. So that was cool.
Smart businessman there. No, and then also, Sam, yeah. I want to thank you for having me talk to your district. That was awesome, and then
Yeah, that was cool.
that was really cool. Really engaged district you have, and great agents. And then at Greenbrier, we talked, and then I was at a stage right now at my agency where I don't have to do, I'm not doing sales anymore.
Right.
I'm not doing customer service anymore.
Yeah.
But with the ambitions I have, a lot of the time I spend on is recruiting,
Right.
and then maybe I was sharing you the story, and then you just started just giving me all these like ideas and sharing what you do, and I thought that's something that could really bring value to the audience, and I want to learn too and really go a little bit deeper into that. So, can you help us a little bit about your recruiting
Yeah.
strategies and processes there?
Yeah, I'll tell you, what we do in the district office is very similar to what the agents do, but on a larger scale, right? So I tell my recruiter that recruiting is like sales. It's just like you're selling car and home insurance. The only difference is your audience. What you're selling is not auto and home insurance. You're selling an opportunity,
Hmm.
right? When I'm looking for a recruiter, I look for salespeople.
Hmm.
I want the best, somebody who's excellent at sales to be my recruiter because I can teach you recruiting, but if you don't know how to sell, you have to have that hunt. You have to be a hunter,
Hmm.
right, to be a good recruiter. Okay, so that's one of the things I look. But when it comes to recruiting, one of the things that I told you was to remove yourself from being the lead when it comes to recruiting. So recruiting is all about perception,
Hmm.
right? It's all about perception. So you want to have layers when you're recruiting. So just to give you an example, in my office, I have my recruiting manager, Vanessa. She does an excellent job. So he finds people, brings them in, and then she does the first interview. So the first interview, we go over the opportunity. If they have an interest, they do a background check. And then once they pass a background check, that's when I see them. Okay,
Like
so when I
the big
yep,
background check, the
you do
full.
the big,
Okay.
and then once they pass, then I get involved.
Mm.
I don't like to waste time. So
Mhm.
if you don't pass the big, there's no point in me talking to you,
Oh, okay.
right? So once they do that, they come in for a second interview, and I go into more the details. So I go into numbers, I do a performer, I go over with them, and then we sign them up for licensing. So in that meeting, I literally go to the state website and book a test date for them. They pay for it, and now they have a goal where they know, okay, I'm taking the test on this day.
Nice.
We also set them up for the study for the course.
Mm-hmm.
But we accomplish two things. We set them up for the test, we set them up for the course, and now they have a part of action. So when they leave, they start studying right away.
Yeah, they know they have a path. They know exactly.
They have it exactly. They have a path. So that's my job, is to get them excited, give them the roadmap. So I give them a roadmap. I tell them, hey, Farmers now, the University of Farmers has a 5-week course program online, which is great because you can do it from the comfort of your home. So I show them all of this, but my goal at the end of the meeting is to get them signed up.
Mm-hmm. For the class.
Yeah, for the class.
And a test and have a date already.
You have that.
That's very smart. Now, when you say you get them excited, what are some tactics to do that?
Well, I do go by the performer, right? So, like I mentioned to you, you sell 10,000, you make 40,000.
That numbers,
right?
yeah.
I mean, Dan, have you seen any opportunity where you can get that?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's no opportunity out there today that offers that kind of opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, at the end of the year, Farmers is going to pay you up to 60% bonus on all your commissions you made for the entire year, Dan.
Another 60%?
An annual bonus.
Oh.
So literally, an agent that sells 60,000 in commissions in year one makes $280,000 at the end of the year. Wow. Because of the monthly bonuses and because of the annual bonuses you get.
It's another annual bonus.
So, but think about this, okay? This will blow your mind. With the Protege program, where Farmers allows you to bring on a mentor, you mentor them, they become their own agent, right? Mm-hmm. You mentor them anywhere from, up to 1 year. Farmers is going to pay you $36,000 per protege. So you get 30,000 bonuses, 6,000 in lead money for your protege. We don't put a cap on how many proteges you can hire. If you want 10, you can hire 10 proteges. So that's extra money. So if the 2 producers that you hire are proteges, you're talking another 60K because it's 30 a person plus 6,000 in leads. That's $60,000, right? And then on top of that, if you refer an agent to me, we pay you another $15,000
from the district.
From the district and Farmers, right? So some of my agents, it's part of their annual goals to recruit at least 2 agents.
That's a big bonus you have for your district.
Well, I mean, so I pay $5,000. The company shifts the rest. How much you pay?
Oh, okay.
Like $10,000.
That's more.
So it's $15,000 per agent referral.
No, you got me excited.
So if you don't have that on your goal sheet, you should put out on your goal sheet. You refer 2 to 3 agents a year. I mean, I just told one of my recruiters, I said, hey, that's your vacation money.
Mm-hmm. So right? How many recruiters do you have? When you say recruiters?
So everybody in my office recruits.
Oh, okay.
So that's a new concept, right? Mm-hmm. For my office manager, I have
so everybody qualifies.
So ABC recruits. I have my recruiting manager, and I have another ABC that they're all involved in recruiting, but they do it differently. So my ABCs, because they work with the agents one-on-one, they coach them. They talk about the agent referral bonus. So that's how they recruit, right? So they say, hey, do you know anyone that could become an agent? Mm-hmm. A client or one of your clients, because it's a $15,000 bonus you can get. So they come back with names, my recruiter, and she calls them. So that's how they get their incentives.
Okay, gotcha.
For the ABCs. Mm-hmm. Because their main job is not to recruit, right? But they get names from the agents.
And they're incentivized for that too, for sending someone to the recruiter?
Right. I'll talk about how I incentivize them in a second.
Okay.
The other thing that I have my ABCs do is when they visit an agent's office, I have them walk around and talk to the business owners in the area and let them know, hey, we're trying to put an office in town. What do you know? So they come back with some names as well. So that's how, another way that they recruit. But the way I honor my recruiters is whenever they send us a name, okay, and we get a pending, meaning the person passed the background check, we get paid $150.
Oh, just for that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you bring somebody in, they like the opportunity, they have a good credit history, a good criminal background, they get $150.
So because that at that point, it's kind of like a lead for you, right?
It's a lead for us.
Because it goes to you after that. So at least they get through that stage, they get a little bone. Okay, they get
a little bit of an incentive, right? And then whenever the person gets licensed, whoever brought that person in gets another $200.
Okay, so this is a person who originally generated the lead, not if it wasn't the recruiter, it's your ABC maybe.
No, well, I'm paying whoever brought the lead is going to.
Right. Okay, makes sense. Yeah.
Right. So they get $200, and then whenever they become an agency owner, I pay them $1,000. So depending, it's anywhere from $500 to $1,000. So if the person is involved in the recruiting process, then they get $1,000. So my recruiter makes it $1,000 when somebody becomes an agency owner.
No matter where the name came from.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because she takes the person from, because she's involved in talking to them to get them licensed.
Right.
And then, we work with them until they become an agency owner.
Makes sense. So they both get $1,000 or?
No.
Yeah.
No. So it starts at $200 for the person who gave the name, unless they're the recruiter.
Okay, gotcha.
The recruiter, they make dollars.
Okay. Yeah, this is so important for me because a lot of times, like, I do the recruiting, so I'm the one that, and you don't want to be like the desperate, agents, like business owner that's like, calling people, hey, you want to work for me, or like, texting them, which we do, but like, so having somebody else do that will make my position seem more important, and I guess it will make me seem less like eager to hire somebody, even though I'm still picky, but it's just a better perception of the position, I guess. But what kind of recommendations would you have for the recruiter or people asking like how aggressive or like how often do you call, or like what kind of like pitch, like what kind of messaging are they like communicating with candidates?
Well, it's just like when you buy an auto lead. It's the same.
Then that means you go bombard.
It's the same thing. It's the same. Like I said to you, my recruiter is like a salesperson. It's just that he has a different product.
You got to be aggressive then.
So just for you to understand, we're aggressive, but we're not too aggressive.
Right.
Because our goal is to get you in the door, show you the opportunity. There are a lot of people out there, they don't really know the power of the insurance business. They don't know how lucrative it is, right? With a farmer's opportunity, you have family rights. You can pass the business down to your kids. I mean, no other company out there does this, right? And then on top of that, you have equity in the business. You have an equity stake in what you do. So your agency is worth a lot of money, farmers, and also even more to an outside person. Okay? The insurance business is a residual-based business. So you start insurance to a client, it keeps paying you over and over again, right? So, and then the other cool thing about the insurance business is, this is a little secret, top secret in the insurance business, is the fact that you guys, your agency owners, you get a raise every single year.
Yeah, rate increases. They always
right?
You can count on them, yeah.
Because
unless you're in California.
Yeah, right. But even regardless of California, you have weather, you have hail, you have storms, you have tornadoes, right? So when all these things happen, guess what happens to the insurance prices? Everybody raises rates.
Yeah, accidents.
So, accidents, right? So when rates go up, well, you guys get paid more.
Yeah.
Well, so you don't have to come to me as a DM and say, hey, can I get a raise this year? You get a raise naturally for helping people. You know what I mean?
That's the key there. All we do is just help people. Protecting people.
I didn't get into the business to make money, right? It's a byproduct of helping people.
That's the beautiful. Yeah, that's the most.
So if you love helping people, right, you want to make an impact in the community, the money will come.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I actually enjoy trips. So when I was an agent, my goal was to make toppers. Because when I make toppers, the money will follow. It
Mm-hmm.
comes with it.
Yeah.
You see
There's
what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's no way you could like have these achievements and not make money, and not no way you could help people, protect people, and not make money. It's like you almost don't have to
Because
worry about the money because it'll just come
it
naturally.
comes with it. Now, I know that if you chase money, you end up doing unethical things.
Oh, right, yeah. So sometimes it's better to not have that as a motivation.
That's why I don't focus on money. I focus on A clubs. Okay. What do I need to do to make PC toppers?
Mm-hmm.
Right. When I focus on that, everything else comes with it.
God,
So it's just a different mindset, different
it is a
world.
different mindset. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that. And sometimes that makes you a little less stressed out too.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I never look at folios. When I was an agent, I'll never look at my folio. Right. I looked at my goals. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
how many PNC do I need to hit to make toppers?
Mm-hmm.
I took the goals for toppers, and then broke it all the way down to the day.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to simplify goals. What do I need to do today to make an impact on my goals?
Gotcha. So yeah, I think that's that's a great system. Anything else before we move on about the recruiting system that you have? I think it goes even further, right? With the recruiters at ABC, with the incentives, or is that kind?
Yeah. So, I have a promotion kind of thing where, I offered my recruiting manager to become an assistant district manager. And once they become an assistant district manager, they actually start participating in the agent success, right? So if a recruiter they brought on is having some success, meaning, with the retail, we have, different ways. They have tiers of
Mm-hmm.
where they can earn bonuses. Yeah, A, B, and C tiers. So that I don't pay her a renewal, so she gets what do you call it, tips, or I pay her a bonus for every recruit that she gets every month.
Mm-hmm.
So if her recruit is one of A or B agent, meaning they're better than average,
Mm-hmm.
then she gets a monthly stip. So
Of the
it's anywhere.
production.
Yeah. So she
Yeah.
get $100 per agent, all the way up to $300 an agent, depending on where they fall.
And then that is just a monthly basis?
Yeah,
Or,
it's every month.
yeah.
So the more agents she's literally building a district within my district, right? So the more agency owners she brings on her team,
Mm-hmm.
the more money she's making.
Yeah. So she's has a potential for a residual income.
Right. And then, when I make A club, they also go on a trip. So I send them to Mexico. I mean, if I make a trip, they go on a trip.
Yeah, I think that's only fair.
It's only fair. We have one dream, right? We're all riding in the same direction, right?
So yeah, as a PCDM, you kind of have a lot of the recruiting part, not taking care for you, but obviously you're involved in it, but not like the grinding part and the difficult parts. But you're, what other duties would you say is the most important? Probably motivating agents, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or what else would you say is kind of like your main duties at this stage of your career right now?
Well, it's motivating agents. That's but I'm also learning you have to educate the agents too,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's education. A lot of the agents, they don't sell life insurance because they don't know the product.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know how to sell it.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy, but you have agents who've been here 30 years, and when you look at their history, they haven't sold a life insurance policy in 4 years.
Mm.
And you ask yourself, like, why is that? You have a book of 1,000 clients. Why aren't you selling? Why aren't we talking about life insurance with the customers?
Mm-hmm.
It's a disservice to your clients because we offer that product,
Mm-hmm.
and that product protects the family. Like, I mean, we're protecting the house and the cars and stuff, but what's the most important thing? Isn't that your family? Right? So if you're an agency owner and you don't bring up life insurance, I think you're not doing a great job for your customers.
Yeah, that is literally our job. So how do you provide the training and how do you help get their numbers up when it comes to life insurance?
So
what's the best ways you think?
Yeah, I touch my new agents weekly. So we have an hour meeting. We just do a Zoom meeting. We talk to them.
Is that a group one?
Yeah, we'll do a group meeting.
Okay.
And then the brand new ones, we touch them twice a week.
Okay.
But then we have ABCs that call on the agents every week as well. But then I'm also doing monthly district meetings or district. We call it, district workshops. That's the one you spoke to. Actually, you spoke in a district meeting about how workshops where we bring on different speakers. We teach them different topics. So like tomorrow, I'm teaching on the new life product, the FIU 3. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to bring in. I'm going to talk about the Power of Zero, the book, mm-hmm. The concept from the Power of Zero, and then also the Power of Zero talks about funding a policy, alert. So we can fund, or the solution that we provide is through the new Index Life product. And I mean, I can get you super excited about the new Life product. I'm jazzed about it. I'm going to buy a policy myself because this product is just insane.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like it.
Really? Okay?
So you want me to get into it?
Yeah, well, I'm in California, so I have to wait till 2030. But
I mean, this product is just nuts. I mean, there's downside protection. You can never lose money with this product. There's no cap on the upside. Mm-hmm. And here's the crazy part. There's two. It's an index, so there's two indexes: the S&P 500 and then the Mark 5. The Mark 5 is a bonus of 3.5%. So whatever you make that year, farmers are going to give you a bonus of 3.5%. So you know how the market is. If it crashes, negative 20, your floor is 0, but you actually make 3.5%.
Okay, wow.
So you don't even lose. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
You can't lose.
You can't lose any money. Mm-hmm. And then some of the writers, they have a writer where you give 10% of the face amount, up to $10,000 to charity of your choice. And that money that goes to the charity doesn't come out of the face amount, and the client doesn't pay for it.
Oh, wow, okay. Just comes from the accumulation.
I don't know how they pay for it. I don't know, but that's how it works. Farmers will cut a check.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, they'll cut a check to a charity of your choice, $10,000, and you don't have to.
The policy.
You don't have to pay for it. It's just nuts. And then there's other, guaranteed insurability for children, where they get $25,000. They can add up to $25,000 once they get a product. So it's just. I've been doing this 15 years. I've never seen anything like it. It's just amazing.
Yeah, that's really exciting. When it comes to agents, having a strong product like that in the marketplace makes such a big difference for making our job easier. It does, so whenever sometimes new comes along, that's usually a good sign for us. Yeah. It just gives us more options. But a new UL product that's competitive and has those features, that could make a big difference. So that's awesome that you're on top of it. You're like really researching it and training your agents about it. I think that's such a value that you bring to your district. So that's awesome, Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what else? I mean, just probably get this question a lot, but what do you see all these years of being a DM? What are some patterns you see as far as successful agents? Like what you see, certain agents. You see a pattern like, all the successful ones are kind of like this. What would you say some of those traits are?
Well, the successful agents show up to work.
Let's start there, huh?
That's it. They come to work every day. Okay?
Yes, sir.
The first one's in, the last one's to leave. They just show up to work. Okay? What they also do is they don't just watch the clock. They are efficient with their time. So they come to work, and they get the job done. Okay, so I just got off with one of my top agents, one of my life agents, and he said, "Sam, advice to agents: don't go to the office. It's like leave your office, get out of your office, because you get a lot more done when I'm not." He said he gets a lot more done when he's out of the office, right? Because when he's in the office, he's not productive. There's phone calls. There's people want to talk to him. But when he's out in the community, he's networking, he's getting named, And so even on the golf course, you're making connections. You're meeting very, very influential people on the golf course. And, you're running business left and right. But The pattern that I'll tell you is one, they show up to work.
Mm-hmm.
Two, they have something in them. There's a fire. There's a look, there's something. You have this fire inside that you don't see with everyone else. They have this motivation, right? Where they'll run through a brick, and it could be maybe it's their family. They want to feed their family. Maybe they want to help. They always have this thing that makes them tick, makes them want to go out and do it.
Can you find out if they have a fire or not in the interview process or no?
So there are some tools. So Ideal Traits has an assessment, right? That you can. It gives you a pretty good indication of who you're dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, if the person is a sales leader, they have that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I don't know if you do that for recruiting. So that's another tip I'll give you is, use a tool to have them do an assessment. So, when we're recruiting staff or agents, one of the requirements that I have is they have to do an assessment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? They have to score at least a 10 on the math and problem solving, at least 10 or more. But then I also look for their personality traits.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anyone that is a sales leader, salesperson, those people, man, when you meet them,
Mm-hmm.
Like the minute I meet a sales leader, it's like, how you asked me the pattern, you see it immediately.
Mm-hmm.
There's something, they have this aura, right? Mm-hmm. When how when somebody walks in the room, you notice them?
Mm-hmm.
They have that.
Yeah. Well, maybe because it takes one to know one.
True.
Yeah.
True.
No, yeah, you definitely have that, Sam, or, you're a motivator, your trainer, you know what you're talking about, you have the experience. But with experience too, I think we get better at recognizing who has it or not. And that's something that I'm trying to learn. And obviously a smaller scale as an agency owner, but I'm pretty I still feel there's so many similarities though of what we're both looking for.
Yeah.
But
like I was telling you though, create layers before they see you. Mm-hmm. Have somebody else talk to them. Mm-hmm. It's just like, I'll give you an example, and a lot of the things I do as an EM comes from being an agent because it's quite similar. Mm-hmm. Because when I was an agent, one of the things that I did and why I did pretty well was when I had an appointment, I didn't call to confirm the appointment.
Sales appointment?
Yeah. Sales appointment. I had my office manager call them a day before to confirm their appointment with me. So the person, when they get a phone call, like, whoa, this guy actually has a team.
Yeah. He has at least one employee.
You know what I mean? So when I show up, they look at me differently than the country financial guy who called himself.
Right.
So it's all about creating that, it's not really an illusion. I mean, I did have a staff person.
Yeah.
But when he was on vacation, guess who made the phone call? My wife did.
Yeah.
So for a new agent, take some notes because, if you don't have, like, let's say your employee quits. Well, if you have a spouse, let them make a phone call for you. Mm-hmm. Create that layer, right, of importance. So whenever you meet with a client, like, oh, hey, your employee called me to confirm. That was, it just shows that level of importance.
Yeah, and also for efficiency reasons too. We have time is valuable. So if I have 15 staff members here, I could have some of them help me with the recruiting. I just feel like it's the same thing though with sales. Like sometimes you feel like, oh no, I could do this better than them, so I need to do everything. But then you have to let go of that duty and let them get better at it. Or but it's just
with your team members, just tell them what you're looking for. Mm-hmm. Right? Go on the whiteboard and say, okay, these are the traits I'm looking for, right? Mm-hmm. And then you have to chase them, just like you do for sales.
Yeah.
But once you get them to do the background check, then you've got them. So that's what we do. We chase. When we get you in, we get you interested, and you do the background check because now you have skin in the game. Then we let go because at that point we're watching what you're going to do.
I love that, and I think incentivizing that too. I think I'm going to do something like get them to do a Zoom conference with them, or maybe have them finish ideal trace, they get a little money,
Right.
and then once they finish that and they set the interview, they actually come in, then they'll get a little bit of incentives. Those are easy things to kind of just measure and
Hmm.
incentivize, and that just will free up more time for me, which
Right.
is something. And I think it will just also be a more professional experience for the candidate too,
Hmm.
because I have automated text going out as me, so it just seems like I'm just like just trying to talk to anybody.
Right.
uh, so I think that is the next step of my agency. So if
Mhm.
this works out and I have like a recruiting person or even a team in the future, and then I'm gonna owe you a lot for helping me out with this conversation here, because I don't know why I didn't think about. Well, I did think about like, okay, yeah, it would make sense for somebody to do recruiting at my agency,
Right.
but you gave me a lot of direction just hanging out
Yeah. I mean,
at the
listen,
casino there.
you can call me anytime. I'm really good with scripts. I can help your recruiter with that. You can talk to my recruiter. She's really good. She's really good at what she does. Indeed has been a really good source for us. So we can get some of the tricks there. And like I told you, I need some help with the videos for YouTube. So I'll be contacting you because I want to do like recruiting videos, just different topics. Because there are people that don't have the time to come in and sit down for an hour to learn about farmers and opportunities. So I'm going to do it in small bits, kind of teach, talk a little bit about the opportunity and, hopefully, if somebody's interested, they'll contact us, talk to them about it.
No, yeah, you brought that idea up before we started recording, but I think that's a great idea, you know, because sometimes maybe as a recruiter, you start saying the same thing over and over again to different people.
Right.
And or maybe getting them into the office is just a little commitment seeming, so sending
Right.
out emails with links to videos with professionally done video,
Hmm.
that's edited, so it's like a little fast paced or not too slow or exciting with like music and stuff like that, and just basically making an ad. And then sometimes we don't look our best, or we don't feel our best, or maybe we're sick, but you're on vacation, but that
Right.
video will look your best every single time. So
Every single
I
time.
think
Yeah.
that's a great way, and have maybe even having a series,
Right.
um, of
Yeah. So
videos.
yeah, I want to do that. I think it'll be good. It'll be good
Yeah.
for recruiting. My team can just send snips and say, hey, here's a little about Sam. Watch the video. Because with recruiting, that's another little thing too is you're selling the opportunity, but you're also selling the district.
Mm-hmm.
And my recruiter sells me,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I'm the district manager and I'm going to coach and mentor the person. So, before they meet me, they kind of know a little bit about myself, and then when they meet me in person, it creates that level of importance. And I think that's one of if you're going to take anything away from this conversation, that's it, right?
That is right there. Yeah, that is it right there. The perception of importance, and like this is an opportunity to be able to talk to this person that I've heard about, I know now,
Yeah.
where um, it's kind of like you're finally to that level where they get to talk to
Right.
you. And then yeah, showing off your district office, the ABCs, the
Yeah.
recruiter, and even having some testimonials from some agents,
Hmm.
their experience with the district and their experience with farmers as an agency owner. These are all great ways to kind of like let them know what it's like without visually,
Right.
without just
And
someone
then
just talking to them.
another thing that I also do is I do a spousal interview. So if they come in and they have a spouse, I offer for the spouse to interview me.
Mm.
So that's unique, right?
Hmm.
We meet up for dinner. We do a Zoom call if they can't make it to my office. And then it's an hour where they can ask me any question.
Hmm.
So, I'm a straight shooter. So, they ask me the questions. I tell them, whatever question answers, whatever questions they have, I answer it. And people like that. They like it because, you play a game of telephone if you don't talk directly to the wife. And
Yeah, that's so
sometimes,
true, because a lot of times you have to get their buy-in. It's just as
right,
important as
yeah,
the actual agency owners, because if you don't have a supportive spouse when there's issues or there's challenges, then you need them to both be on the same page as far as resiliency and going through the difficult times as a journey as an agency owner. So I think that's great to make sure there's certainty from both sides of the family, of the spouse, to be in it, because you kind of need that to become a successful agency owner.
Yeah.
I never
Yeah.
heard that.
Yeah, I just did one today. He brought his wife, and we did it together. I mean, the wife was just as excited as him.
Now you have like two agency owners working with one.
She's doing a license too. So
there you go.
Yeah. So I'm like, why not? Let's go.
Yeah. there goes part of the staff requirement.
No, it's great. Love it.
No, yeah. Hey, thank you so much, Sam. I'm so glad to be able to connect with you. You've always been friendly to me. So, in the past we worked together. It's always been a pleasure. And I'm just looking forward to, doing what I can for you, So just reach out to me. And then when it comes to recruiting tips, I'll be, going back and forth for you. So yeah, I just really appreciate, your support, your guidance with a lot of the recruiting stuff, and then just your friendship. When I see you, just a great guy to know in the farmer's family. So I'm really happy that you've been. I was able to get you on the show, and looking forward to keep in touch with you and seeing your district and your agents grow.
Sounds good, man. We'll see you at the top, bud.
Yeah, always at the A class.